printer management, and administrators. One of the features of cups, at least as configured on Ubuntu Linux systems, is how easy it is to add a print administrator. You can take a user already on your system and give them administrative access to your cup system, and that administrative access is limited to the cup system. To see how this works, let's take a look at the main cups configuration file, etc/cups/cupsd.conf. Early on in the file, the second line as shown here, you'll see a description of a administrative user group based on the system group directive. In this case, it's lp-admin. To review the current members of that group, I review the etc/group configuration file. And as highlighted here, my username as well as the Supervisor1 account are members of the group and are thus print administrators. If you want to add more users as print administrators, you have to add them to the lp-admin group, not only here in the etc/group configuration file, but assuming you're using the shadow password suite, you have to add them to the etc/gshadow configuration file, as shown here. Now let's get back to the main cups configuration file. Look at the 3 location stanzas. Note the allow at local directive in each of these stanzas. It supports access from systems on the local network. The require user at system directive in the 3rd stanza, or the 3rd location stanza, points to the system group directive that I just described and allows members of the lp-admin group and administrate cups from remote systems. With that in mind, let's take a look at the web-based administrative tool. While that's not cited in the current UCP curriculum, I believe it will be there in the near future. To review it, open a web browser and navigate either to localhost 631, or if you're on a remote system, you can access it with the IP address or host name of the system as shown here. Gosh, I can even access it from a Microsoft system. It includes a number of administrative interfaces. To implement a printer, you'll need the account information of a member of the lp-admin group. So let's proceed. I click Add Printer. I specify a one-word, an alphanumeric word name for the printer. I specify a location and a description. The location and description are optional and thus can be human readable. Next, I specify a device. A number of different devices are available. What you see may vary depending on what's detected on your system and network. I specify Internet Printing Protocol based on the Universal Resource Identifier described in another video. I then enter an appropriate URI of a previously configured printer. I click Continue. It takes a moment to check the database, and then I can select a make and model. If for some reason that's not available, Microsoft Windows drivers often include PPD files, that's PostScript printer description files, which might work as drivers. But I know my printer has a driver, and yours generally should too. I click a make, I select a model, Look at that. I have a choice of 5 different print drivers. So I select the recommended driver, and gosh, look at that. I'm prompted for my username and password. How about that? The printer has been added successfully, and I can configure more.